Workouts, a lot of meetings, a lot of medical, also a lot of people speaking to the media. We heard Brett Veach speak on the Travis Kelce future conversation and speculation. We heard Coach Andy Reid speak on the speculation of Travis Kelce's future. And I decided to reach out to sources who know and say, like, hey, are we playing next year? To my source says, and message was my dog! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
3.
Source says I'm coming back for sure. Gonna try and get to the best shape I've been this offseason and get back to the mountaintop. Got a real bad taste in my mouth with how I played in that last game and how I got the guys ready for battle. I can't go out like that. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and guess what? One more exclamation point.
Wow. Huge.
Okay, so that's the Travis Kelce future conversation.
So he's probably coming back.
I think you could probably.
Yeah,
I think you could say. I think you could say Travis Kelce's coming back to play football yet again. And I think, he had that idea, I would assume, before the Super Bowl, whenever he did media day. He said, in 3 years, I see myself playing football yet. But then with the way that game goes, knowing that he is an Ohio guy who's a football guy, with how everything has gone and what his career has been. Remember, the Chiefs weren't always good when he was on that team. He had to persevere. He had to continue to grow, evolve. He got better as a player, as a human, I would assume he would predict, as a professional, everything. And then he's gotten to the point now where he's in GOAT conversations with anybody that's talking about tight ends. That's a situation that doesn't happen to many players in the history of the game. And obviously, he has represented our sport fantastically while dating the most famous person on earth.
Yeah.
We love Travis. Now, obviously, whenever you're in the public eye, there are going to be things that are going to come out from people's mouths that aren't as positive all the time. There's going to be reasons for people to hate Travis Kelce. There's going to be reasons for people to hate the Kansas City Chiefs. There's going to be reasons for people to hate Taylor Swift, even though a lot of it makes no sense to me. Sometimes, if you're just on the top of the mountain, people are going to throw rocks at things that shine. Shout out Taylor Swift for that particular quote. But what you can't deny is the greatness of Travis Kelce. You can't deny that he is one of one. You can't deny that he is an anomaly. You can't deny that the guy loves ball, fully committed. And in the Andy Reid accountability-driven type building, I don't think enough credit is given about this guy being an absolute dog, day in, day out, showing up to work, already great, already rich, already has a resume, already in the Hall of Fame. And it's like he's a guy that loves ball. And we love Travis. And I'm excited to see him get back on the field, get in the best shape that he's been. I'm excited to see what that means because a lot of people think he could potentially get distracted by Taylor. I think he gets motivated by Taylor.
Sure.
Yes.
I think like those two being together makes them both want to continue to grow and get even better. I'm excited to see what he looks like coming back next year.
Yeah, and look what they do every offseason, the Kansas City Chiefs. They reload. I assume after the game there were probably some thoughts like, hey, if Rashee Rice is out on that field, if we are fully healthy, and no team by the time they get to the Super Bowl is fully healthy, but I assume those thoughts creep in. He just started kind of coaching Rashee Rice up. Like, he was off to a historic start for the Kansas City Chiefs, Rashee Rice, before, he was out for the season. Then even just look at his brother. When his brother Jason lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, he came back for a year. Obviously, last year the Eagles lose to the Bucs in the first round. He ends up retiring. I bet Jason Kelce probably wish he didn't retire.
He's open about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things, too, and if you were to talk to the closest people around him, I bet their advice would be like, hey, why the hell would you retire? You guys are still in prime position to go back to the Super Bowl. It's not like after that loss, they're going to completely crumble. They still have Mahomes. It's still Andy Reid. Their team is still unbelievable. Guys still want to go to Kansas City and, ring chase and kind of be in the conversation as one of those top 4 teams in the league. And it feels like the Chiefs are going to be right back where they were last year. And Kelce being in the best shape of his life, I'm sure they're going to be even better. And they were the 1 seed, so who knows?
We talked about how everybody said they were playing bad as being the chip on this team that's in the middle of a dynastic run, back-to-back world champions, and then people are saying this team's not good, this team's not good. All that does, and I think AJ brought it up when he was there Super Bowl week at Radio Row. He is on a cruise right now for Ohio State in the middle of the Caribbean. He'll be back next week. But he chit-chatted about how, all you people that are saying you hate the Chiefs and you think they're bad and all that stuff, like, you are their motivation. Like, when those guys get to the top of the mountain, they're trying to find chips to put on the shoulder. So now getting your ass beat in your stage, that is your stage. The Super Bowl has become
like
your residency. And play bad, get your ass beat, people chirp loud. It's like there's almost like I assume a resurgence that's about to happen in that Kansas City building. Do you feel the same, Mad Mel?
Yeah, without a doubt. And then also people, on top of it are cherry picking plays, from the game when they're getting killed and saying, oh, this guy doesn't care anymore. This guy doesn't want to play hard anymore. And I think, a big part of it, too, is they talk about, hey, the media aspect. He's going to be able to get whatever job he wants. He's going to be on whatever pregame desk he wants. He's in the next, Happy Gilmore movie, all that kind of stuff. So why would you play? You're going to be one of the biggest stars on the planet. All that stuff's still going to be there, okay? This guy isn't going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden not be able to play football anymore, not want to play football anymore. I think you mentioned it. It's a big part of it. You date someone like Taylor Swift, like you're not just riding coattails and saying, oh, she's a billionaire, I'm going to be able to do nothing. And he's very wealthy on his own, but you see how hard she works, touring everywhere, having 150, 200 shows a year, going to every single continent. If you're in love with someone and you're around someone all the time, like guess what? That's reigniting that fire in your own body to say, hey, you know what? Like Connor mentioned,
I could be a better me.
I could be a better me. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, okay? We're not that. We just lost in the Super Bowl. Listen, the Chiefs are going to be around, okay? They're going to have an opportunity to win another Super Bowl next year. It makes sense. I mean, Kelce's going to play until the wheels fall off.
Mad Mel, you do love, don't you?
Who doesn't?
There are people out there that want
the devil.
Satan?
I bet he doesn't.
I think he does love, actually.
With himself. So there is, I guess that'd be more of an infatuation some people have.
Yeah, lust, I suppose you could say.
But a lot of people said that their relationship was all bullshit. But it turns out that their relationship might be the greatest thing that has happened in like the zeitgeist of the most famous people on earth. And then also for Travis Kelce to be like, oh, I can, because you watch greats. He is one in the NFL. How they work, how they go about doing their thing, how you can continue to learn and evolve and get better as you go through. People are always trying to take shit from other people. Like Tyrese said, the biggest thing about the Olympics was watching the other guys work and how they go about doing their things. Like whenever we get to go watch the WWE do their thing and we see them do stuff and it's like, you can learn from that. I'm assuming that Travis is learning a lot of shit about a lot of shit from Taylor because she is, we're talking about the one here. And her work ethic, and I've heard some songs, through my wife, and she's dated some bums and it has not worked out.
Without a doubt.
No doubt.
I think the reason why this is going to work out is because Travis is not a bum. He's an Ohio guy, a football guy. He's got a work ethic.
Yeah.
And he wants to continue. So I love everything about
Let's not forget Mahomes is in his revenge hair era as well. So
He's been waiting to cut that hair.
for years.
I said it last year.
He said in that quarterback documentary,
Yeah.
he said, I don't want to be the dad with a mullet. I want to cut my hair, but we're winning.
Yeah.
So I can't. It's hard for me.
He cut it pretty quickly.
Yeah, he couldn't wait. As soon as that game was over,
He looks a lot younger, too.
Yeah, he looks good. Like, I think this is exactly what he potentially thought. Like, maybe sometimes he pulled his hair back and was like, I can look like an adult if I really want to do it. And that was his words, not ours.
Correct.
And he did. He pulled the trigger. And on Texas Tech, that kid buried that putt. Did you see that full court putt?
That was sweet.
Patrick jumped up with the thing. Looks like he's obviously.
was having a great time.
Right. He had a shiny
He loves it
cross
there.
on, too.
Yeah, he does. He's good. Hey, the Chiefs is still the Chiefs, I think.
Yeah,
Even though the Eagles is definitely the Eagles.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, we need to remember that the Eagles is definitely the
I
Eagles.
bet you the Chiefs probably take a couple of linemen in this draft.
Yeah, that's what Andy Reid did the last time they lost in the Super Bowl to a team that got a lot of pressure and were able to do their thing to an offensive line. They reloaded the offensive line. So let's assume they'll do the same this offseason.